I'm up here getting a bird's eye view of the 2026 ISN Tool Dealer Expo. You know, we're here to do the Tool Time podcast for TechShop live. I'm ready to talk to some of these companies and do some podcasts. Joining us today is Chris Hirsch, Director of Fleet, Automotive, and Retail Sales at AIRCAT. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So you can tell us a little bit about what you do at AIRCAT.
Yeah, we manufacture some of the highest quality pneumatic tools in the industry. We have several divisions from industrial all the way through to automotive, but obviously at the ISN show here, we're focused on the automotive and fleet markets with our AIRCAT product line.
Now, the ISN show, this has been just an exciting show so far, really dynamic. You know, what is it that keeps you coming back to ISN?
Well, this is one of the best shows that we do. It's very well organized. They get a lot of their top customers here, so it gives us the opportunity to interact with our customers, to talk about the quality of our products. We have several unique characteristics that are built into our products, several patents that it's hard to kind of convey it without them touching, feeling, holding, seeing the tools, and this brings us up close and personal with them. It also gives us some insight into what's happening out there in the market with their customers and the people that are actually using our tools, so we can get some feedback on, you know, what the market's like, what tools they're looking for, so we can help manufacture and come up with new products for the future.
Yeah, that's a great point. Gives you an opportunity to connect with the customers and see what's happening there in the field. So I know AIRCAT, you know, like you said, there's certain things that are well known, and I think, you know, more power, less noise. That's what, you know, that's kind of an AIRCAT staple, right?
Correct. That's what the company was based on. We have a patented muffler design. It's built after kind of a car muffler. So the unique thing about it is it diffuses the air from the tool, but it doesn't cause any back pressure to the motor, so we retain full power in our tool. So That's why we say more power, less noise.
Less noise. Yeah, that's certainly the name of the game, for sure. So you've brought some cool products here to the booth.
Yeah, just a couple unique products. About 5 years ago, we introduced our new Vibrotherm Drive series, which has been really, really successful. And this is the first new hammering mechanism that's been developed since the twin hammer in the late 1990s. So it's unique in the fact that it's a combination of a pinless and a twin hammer. So it's 40% less vibration and gives you 50% better wear. So we can actually offer a full 3-year warranty on our Vibrotherm Drive series, as opposed to 2 years on the rest of the AIRCAT line. And that is the longest industry warranty in the industry.
That's awesome. And so you've had that technology stage for about 5 years, you say?
For 5 years, yeah. And it runs all the way from the compact impact wrenches all the way up into a full-size 1-inch. Some other important features are we put the forward reverse mechanism in the center of the tool, removing the back cap, so the tool is much more compact. Okay. And it stays in perfect alignment because it's a 2-piece housing versus a 3-piece. And as you know, with air tools, people are throwing them around the shop all the time. It keeps this in perfect alignment and keeps the tool running for years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's nice to have that access, you know, with
one hand forward, reverse.
Yeah, because sometimes it is a tight spot and you can't get to the back.
And we aren't biased either. We can pop this off and put it on the other side, so if you're left-handed, it works just as easy.
That's really cool. That's a great feature.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and you know, talking about, you know, techs know that one of the things you do, if you can't slide it across the floor, it's not a real impact, right?
Exactly
right.
You've got
to be able to do that, so that's awesome. Looks like great, you know.
And some of the other features that we built into our other patents that we have with AIRCAT, which are our patented grip design. If you see this grip here, most of your air tools are just a straight post handle. When you're working with oils and detergents and stuff that are slippery, it's kind of hard to control the tool. This grip actually wraps around your hand and allows you to have better control of the tool. It also reduces fatigue over time. So yeah, it makes the tool feel a lot better balance as well. So that's another important feature. So you have the silencing, the grip, and then the hammer mechanism and the forward reversing mechanism. 4 features built into one tool.
That's awesome. Now I see it has the little grease fitting on the front here. And what is it you recommend overall for air tool maintenance? I know it's something that sometimes is probably neglected, you know, but so we have to remind people quite often.
Yeah, we publish a chart on our website. But generally, the grease in the hammering mechanism remains in the hammering mechanism. Most concern that we have is actually oiling the tool before and after each use during the day, because the water that runs through the airlines causes the corrosion in the tool, and that's the number one deterrent in an air tool is water. So you have to really make sure you keep your tools lubricated. And a lot of people don't realize that, especially before you put the tool away at night, you use it all day, the water's just blowing through, that's fine. But when it sits there for a day or 2 days, that's when the rust actually builds up in the tool and causes the tool to lock up.
Okay, so it'd be safe to say that it's almost more about preventing the corrosion versus, it's not lubrication so much. Maybe there's a little bit, not really lubrication like an engine or something, it's just preventing corrosion.
Correct. In all air impact wrenches, there is a zert fitting on the front, so every, say, couple hundred hours, you can add a little bit of oil or grease, depending on what the hammering mechanism is. Some require a 30-weight oil, some require grease lubricant, but you can also service that as well.
Okay, awesome. Looks like a great gun. So what else do we have here?
One of our latest tools that I really like, this is our 6281. We have our 6280, which is our 3/4 horsepower die grinder. What we did with that tool is we've taken the collet off and actually made it a direct drive spindle to the tool itself. Okay. So now, most of these tools are used for roll lock sanding discs. Yes. Now you can just simply screw the hub directly onto the tool. There's no slipperage of the collet. And with our patented spindle lock here, you don't need any tools to tighten it down. You can just spin it on and tighten it. It comes with a 2 and a 3-inch hub. It also features our patented silencing and a rotational exhaust. And we built a built-in air regulator here, right here on the bottom, so you can reduce the speed at any time very easily, right at your fingertips.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love this spindle lock feature here. That's really cool.
Simple, push the button and it just locks it up. Yeah. No wrenches required. Nothing worse than having to take 2 wrenches and try to...
Take too many little wrenches and you're trying to squeeze them together. Exactly. And then when you open your drawer, you have probably 14 of those mini wrenches, and they're all different sizes.
Exactly.
And which one fits, you know? So
this eliminates all that.
That's really cool.
Really
yeah,
cool.
That's a great feature. Yeah, and it feels, and I like the size of it. It feels, you know, it's comfortable, especially for me. Like, you get older and you can't grip as tight anymore. You know what I mean? So it's a nice comfort.
Yeah, and the unique thing about the 0.75 horsepower is we always tell our customers when they look at it, we say, if you can put a sanding disc on that, if you can stop it with one hand, you can have it for free. Because it's so powerful that they can't stop the wheel without putting 2 hands on it and putting full pressure.
That's awesome.
It's
and
crazy,
that's important too, yeah, because you know, if it's a inadequate power, it stalls and it slows you down, and you can't get the pressure you need. So that's awesome. Really cool. Very nice.
And then the last tool I brought with this, you know, these have been around the market for quite a while. Usually called a pinstripe removal tool for paint pinstripes. But what we're finding that today's world with the new sticky wheel weights on the high dollar rims, that instead of using a razor blade or some kind of adhesive or chemical compound to get the rubber off, you hit it with the wheel, and it takes the glue right off the inside of the wheel, and it doesn't damage the wheel. And more mechanics and tire guys are using this. It comes with a removable side handle, so if you don't want the side handle, you can simply remove it. It also rotates 360 degrees, so you can put it in any position you want.
Oh, right. Okay.
And our model is a 0.6 horsepower. Most on the market are 0.4 or 0.5, so you're going to get a little bit more power and performance out of our tool as well. Features the same patented exhaust and the rotational. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great, you know, I never thought of that. I don't know why, but you know, I've fought with so much wheel weight adhesive over the years of brake cleaner or rag, and you don't want to scratch.
It just heats up and takes it right off, and you just wipe it off. Yeah, and it's ready to. You can just put new wheel weights right on right after it, because you don't have the oil or the debris from the material that you used to scrape it up before. So.
And then really any kind of adhesive, like if you have a trim molding that fell off, just kind of zip that adhesive off. Now these discs, how long do these typically last?
It depends on how often you use them. They last for a considerable amount of time, but they are readily available, and we do offer them in a single and a 5-pack. So most of the customers will buy like a 5-pack when they buy the tool and just keep them around it. And they are universal. They just direct thread right onto, well, tighten it a little too tight, I guess, but just screws right onto the spindle.
Okay, so you can just zip it right off and quickly.
So it's a quick change.
Yeah.
Just screws right into the hub.
That's awesome. This is great stuff. So over at the booth, so yeah, you've got a great looking booth this year.
Thank you.
And so you have your whole line of AIRCAT tools, right? So you can try them out.
Exactly. Yeah, the AIRCAT line, when we first took it over in 2014, had 45 tools, and since then we now have over 130 tools in the assortment. Pretty much covers the entire gamut from PBE, heavy duty, fleet maintenance, and automotive. So anything you need for your automobile in air, we have it.
That's awesome, fantastic. So, I want to check out some of this other stuff.
Come on
We'll
by,
head over to the booth. I'll head over later and check it on out.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for bringing this.
Well, thank you.
Chris.
I appreciate the time,
great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot.